Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss about different cloud platforms for data analysis. Let's begin with how things used to be. In the early 2000s, most organizations ran their analytics on on-premise data warehouses. These systems were expensive, hard to maintain, and lacked flexibility. Insights were generated via batch jobs, often scheduled overnight, so decision making was always delayed. Traditional BI tools came with their own set of challenges. The infrastructure was static, meaning scaling up or down wasn't easy. Building or modifying systems took weeks or even months, and the capital costs were massive, often limiting access to larger enterprises only. Then came a data explosion. The rise of IoT devices, mobile apps, and digital platforms created a flood of new data. Logs, clicks, sensors, transactions, all happening in real time. Suddenly, traditional systems couldn't keep up. Organizations needed tools that could analyze massive datasets quickly, flexibly, and on demand. This is where the cloud revolution began. Cloud platforms offered elastic computing, scaling resources up or down as needed in real time. No more investing in hardware upfront. With the pay-as-you-go model, even small teams could access enterprise-level infrastructure. And with infrastructure handled by the cloud provider, teams could focus on analysis, not server racks. Beyond just speed, the cloud changed how businesses operate. What used to take months to deploy now happens in minutes. With global availability, even a team in one city could serve users across continents. Most importantly, cloud analytics tools helped democratize data, making insights accessible to everyone, from interns to executives. Let's look at the key players in cloud-based analytics. The first one is Amazon Web Services, AWS. Introduced scalable storage with S3, distributed processing with EMR, and data warehousing with Redshift. Then comes Google Cloud Platform or GCP. It focused on serverless analytics, launching BigQuery and Dataflow, with advanced ML capabilities in Vertex AI. Lastly is Microsoft Azure, catered to enterprise users with Snipes Analytics, Data Factory, and its powerful dashboarding tool, Power BI. Each of these platforms brought its own philosophy and toolkit, but all aimed at solving the same problem, making analytics fast, scalable, and accessible. According to Gartner, by 2025, over 80% of enterprise data will live in the cloud. So this shift isn't temporary, it's foundational. Understanding how cloud analytics work is now a core skill for any data professional or business leaders. To understand how cloud analytics work, start with its three core building blocks. First, storage, where your data physically resides. Think Amazon S3, Google Cloud Storage, or Azure Blob Storage. Next, compute. This is the engine that processes your data. It could be Redshift, BigQuery, or Snapes. And finally, orchestration, how we manage data pipelines and workflows. Tools like Airflow and Azure Data Factory control how and when data moves. One of the biggest innovations in cloud analytics is the separation of storage and compute. In traditional systems, these were tightly connected. If you wanted more processing power, you had to add more storage and vice versa. Cloud changed that. Now you can scale compute and storage independently based on your need, helping optimize both performance and cost. Another core principle is how infrastructure is managed. Some tools like Redshift or Snapes are managed services. You still choose configurations, but the platform helps manage the backend. Others like BigQuery are serverless. You don't worry about clusters or provisioning. The trade-off: managed services give you more control, while serverless give you more simplicity and speed. How data gets into the cloud is critical. Data can be ingested in batch mode, like scheduled jobs that load chunks of data, or streaming, which handles real time events like clicks or transactions. Traditionally, data was processed using ETL, that is, extract, transform, and load. But in cloud, ELT is more common. Load raw data first, then transform using powerful cloud compute. Tools like Kafka, PubSub, AWS Glue, and Dataflow are built for this flexible real-time approach. In a cloud ecosystem, data isn't about values, it's about context. Platforms now focus on metadata management, helping users discover, tag, and document datasets. Security is handled via role-based access, encryption at rest and in transit, and integrated compliance tooling. Modern cloud analytics platforms are compliance-ready by design. Today, many enterprises adopt a multi-cloud strategy. That means using AWS for storage, GCP for analytics, and Azure for enterprise integrations, whatever suits their workflow best. These platforms now support seamless data movement between each other. The goal? Avoid vendor lock-in and get the best tools for each job, regardless of the provider. Being cloud native is more than just using cloud storage or compute. It means designing systems that are API-driven, automatically scalable, resilient, and agnostic to infrastructure failures. That's the mindset shift needed to truly unlock the power of cloud analytics. Let's start with philosophy. AWS leads with infrastructure. It's the most mature and widely adopted, giving deep control and broad service coverage. GCP takes the data-first approach, built by the company that created BigQuery, Dremel, and TensorFlow. It leans heavily into AI/ML. Azure, on the other hand, focuses on enterprise integration, especially for organizations already using Microsoft tools like Office, SQL Server, or Active Directory. All three cloud offers similar building blocks but with different flavors. For object storage, AWS has S3, GCP has cloud storage, and Azure has blob storage. For relational databases, it's RDS, Cloud SQL, and Azure SQL. For analytics warehouses, AWS has Redshift, GCP offers the serverless BigQuery, and Azure provides Snapase, which blends traditional and modern models. For getting data into the cloud, each platform provides ingestion and ETL services. AWS has Kinesis for streaming, Glue for serverless ETL, and Data Pipeline for batch jobs. GCP offers PubSub for real-time ingestion, Dataflow for stream or batch ETL, and Dataproc for Spark or Hadoop. Azure uses Event Hub's Data Factory for pipeline orchestration and Snapase pipelines for deep analytics workflows. When it comes to warehousing and analytics, the differences are key. Redshift is cluster-based, requiring more tuning about offering high performance and concurrency. BigQuery is fully serverless. You pay only for the queries you run, no cluster management. Snapase Analytics supports both dedicated SQL pools and serverless on-demand SQL, making it hybrid by design. On the BI front, each platform offers native tools but also supports third-party integrations. AWS has QuickSight, lightweight, and scalable. GCP owns Looker, a robust platform for semantic modeling and exploration, and also provides Data Studio for lightweight visualizations. Azure tightly integrates with Power BI, which remains one of the most widely adopted BI platforms globally. For machine learning and AI, all three cloud offer full platforms. AWS has SageMaker for end-to-end ML plus tools like Comprehend and Rekognition for NLP and Vision. GCP shines here with Vertex AI, AutoML, and powerful APIs for translation, image recognition, and forecasting. Azure provides Azure ML and cognitive services for pre-built and custom ML solutions. integrated deeply with Microsoft tools. Cloud platforms have changed the analytics game. But remember, there's no one size fits all solution. Your choice depends on your data goals, team skill sets, and existing tech stack. If you are serious about a career in data, understanding cloud platforms is no longer optional. It's essential. And that's all about our exploration of cloud platforms for data analysis. And in the next video, we will look at to some other topic. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to help us grow. And I will see you in the next video. Till then, happy learning.